So what's the main reason for events like this? To promote the candidate and make the community realize that their vote does count. In the 2012 elections, only 57% of Americans made it out to vote.
I'm Hannah Goetz, and coming up next on WVU News, I traveled to Shanksville, Pennsylvania to the Flight 93 Memorial. I'll tell you what visitors have to say 15 years later.
I'm Hannah Goetz, and coming up next on WVU News, I'll tell you how one downtown shooting caused a local bar to get its liquor license suspended.
As passengers moved to the back of the plane, they were able to use airphones to make their last calls to their loved ones.
Did you know that 1 in 4 Americans have an unfavorable opinion between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? I'm Hannah Goetz, and coming up next on WVU News, I'll tell you some ways that you can get involved in the race.
Literacy is an ongoing issue in West Virginia. 14% of people in Monongalia County are functionally illiterate. Here at the Morgantown Public Library, many people in the program start off reading children's books like this one.
I'm Hannah Goetz, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you how one program is trying to raise the literacy rate in West Virginia.
The most recent shootings happened right here during a concert at Main Stage. After shots were fired, innocent people fought their way out the door and into this busy street. United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in a Shanksville, Pennsylvania field after heroic passengers fought the terrorists on board, preventing an attack on our nation's capital. This memorial is dedicated to the passengers and crew of Flight 93, who stopped terrorists from reaching their target by fighting the plane's hijackers. Gregory Zabrowski is a park guide for this memorial. He says it's humbling to watch the thousands of visitors who come through to pay their respects every year.
It's different for me now because it means so much more. It's so much closer to home because now you meet all these people who lost that day.
A temporary memorial of the 40 victims was established immediately following the crash. After 14 years of planning and development, the Flight 93 Memorial Visitor Center was completed on September 10, 2015.
The fight to take it over and back, it's a struggle that it really showed what our country's made out of, that we're not just going to take it laying down,
And for some who come to visit this memorial, the memories of that day hit a little closer to home.
As passengers moved to the back of the plane, they were able to use airphones to make their last calls to their loved ones.
I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe.
And today, all 40 of those passengers and crew are remembered along a white marbled wall of names directly positioned on Flight 93's flight path. Did you know, Taylor, that less than 30% of eligible voters voted in this year's primary election? I visited the ribbon-cutting ceremony for Monongalia County's Democratic headquarters to find out why it's so important to be involved.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The 2016 presidential election is quickly approaching, and statistics show that in the 2012 election, West Virginia had the lowest turnout rate of any state. Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom says that he can't encourage people enough to cast their ballot.
You have to get out and vote. You have to express your views, or the other people will be able to tell you what's going to happen.
So what's the main reason for events like this? To promote the candidate and make the community realize that their vote does count. In the 2012 elections, only 57% of Americans made it out to vote. The past 4 elections, West Virginia's overall vote has gone towards the Republican Party. But this year, voters are having a hard time picking between the top 2 candidates. In fact, 1 in 4 Americans have an unfavorable opinion between both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
Trump is a known evil. Meanwhile, Hillary has gone back and forth on a lot of issues.
I think we've got our priorities a little mixed up in this country.
I'm not voting. Oh, I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. I'm actually a supporter.
I'd say overall concern for America probably lies with Donald Trump.
But no matter who you vote for, officials say the most important thing is to make your voice heard. The most recent downtown shooting took place on September 25th at Main Stage Morgantown on Chestnut Street. I spoke with officials and witnesses to discover how alcohol could be a trigger for all this violence. Morgantown is safer than 40% of cities in the U.S. However, over the past few weeks, downtown Morgantown has seen a spike in crime, which includes 2 shootings. Police Chief Ed Preston talks about the relationship between violent crimes and alcohol consumption.
It's the same issue that we've had for years, is the over intoxication of individuals, and when people are over intoxicated, they make very poor decisions.
The most recent shootings happened right here during a concert at Main Stage. After shots were fired, innocent people fought their way out the door and into this busy street.
The show that was going on at the time of the shooting has had a history of violence occurring during performances. I talked to a club bouncer who witnessed the night's events.
There was just like people watching, and there was just like some people were like crying because they didn't know what was happening, and just like crazy stuff. Alcohol and guns like don't mix at all.
Despite this recent spike, violent crimes in Morgantown's city limits have actually been declining since 2007. Chief Preston says one topic for the next community meeting will be on what can be done to make downtown safer.
The use and increased use of surveillance cameras, I think, is a tremendously effective tool to not only prevent, but also to help us identify and prosecute people that are engaged in criminal activity. I absolutely believe that.
Chief Preston says the police are doing their absolute best to keep the area safe.
The heroin epidemic is escalating. Just last year, there were 10,000 deaths and 1 million users across America. I'm Hannah Goetz. Attacks on 9/11 not only affected the lives of Muslim Americans, but also immigrants wanting a better life in the United States. Nate Temple joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center with more. Nate?
Thanks for that report, Quinn. Well, Kristen, all eyes are on Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as they throw countless personal shots at one another in the last few weeks of the presidential race. Reporter Shannon Cunningham joins us now to tell us where residents can dress for success for free. Shannon?
25% of babies in the state of West Virginia are born with neonatal abstinence syndrome, showing a dramatic increase in over the past decade.
That's right, Taylor.
United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in a Shanksville, Pennsylvania field after heroic passengers fought the terrorists on board, preventing an attack on our nation's capital.
And Taylor, the most recent downtown shooting took place on September 25th at Main Stage Morgantown on Chestnut Street. I spoke with officials and witnesses to discover how alcohol could be a trigger for all this violence.
Another huge win for the Gold and Blue. The Mountaineer football team is looking for respect in the Big 12.
Up to 40% of adults in West Virginia counties are illiterate, making tasks such as filling out a doctor's form or reading the paper a struggle.
Many heroin addictions in West Virginia stem from opioid addictions. That means prescriptions from doctors are just as dangerous as heroin.
Many negative things were said during the first presidential debate, but how do you know what is actually true?
The Mountaineers started out the season undefeated, but that changed with a 20-37 loss against Oklahoma State.
The literacy volunteers of Monongalia and Preston counties offer a variety of one-on-one and group classes to improve literacy skills. For more information, you can visit the website at the bottom of your screen.
Aaliyah Brown joins us now from Social Square to tell us how advances in social media have made it easier than ever to keep in touch during a crisis. Aaliyah?
Thanks, Tristan. While it's important to keep your car safe, it's just as important to fireproof your home, especially during the holiday season when nearly 50,000 fires occur. That's right, Taylor. And presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump discussed this issue and more during the first two debates of the election season.
Reporter Shannon Cunningham joins us now with more information on a WVU program that provides residents with a life companion to help them with daily activities. Shannon?
Thanks, Nate. While eating fish can improve your body, some volunteers are helping others improve their minds. Playing football and singing may not always go together, but for the Mountaineers, the best games end with a song. And I'm Hannah Goetz. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.